Welcome to For Love and Play. I'm matchmaker comic Yael Meisels. With me is comedians Keenan Weaver and Louie B. For Love and Play, the show about dating like a goddamn adult. We're going to discuss who to spend your time with for love or for play. Let's do it, boys.
This show contains adult content for entertainment purposes. Listener discretion is advised.
Not a doctor.
All right, welcome back for another week. I'm Keenan Weaver, and we're back with all of my favorite people. We're gonna give it up to Louie B first. How you doing, man? Welcome back. I want to first say thank you for biting the bullet and sacrificing yourself last week.
Yeah, because you know what, I really care about the fans and the people that listen to this show, because I want to put out a good product. And if you know, this is not me trying to have low self-esteem, but for technical issues, if I was gonna be on the show, it was gonna sound like it was gonna be echoing like crazy. It was gonna sound like a hot mess, and I can't have that for my people, for the Love and Play army.
Well, I thank you again. I think I'll get into the story of why that would have happened later, because it was partly my fault. But I'm gonna move on because I'm very excited for this one. The Queen is here yet again.
What is up? Hello, New York City.
All right, and why I'm excited is because I was scouring the internet trying to do my research on just relationships, because I was just a guy who dated before this podcast. Now I want to make sure I really know my stuff. And while I'm going through this vast information of relationships, I saw a really cool idea, and I'm going to introduce this young lady right now, Suzanne Casamento. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. How are you guys?
It's going to be so much fun.
This one is going to be fun, because just a quick intro to you. What I saw online was something called Fantasy Dating Game. And I clicked this and I was wondering, okay, what is a fantasy dating game? And I start scrolling through the website, seeing how things breaks down. And I'm a big sports fan. I do all the fantasy football. I do all of this stuff. And I saw this idea where you kind of took that fantasy format and applied it to dating. Can you just expand on that?
Sure. Well, it all started a few years ago when my girlfriends would not stop complaining. They kept saying, there are no good guys in LA and we're never going to meet anyone. And I was like, are you serious? There's 9 million people here. Some of them have to be good guys. So I was like, hey, how about you put your phone away, take a look around, smile, and say hi to some people. And they were like, well, we can't do that. And I was like, well, what do you mean you can't do that? And so I said, well, what if I dared you? And they were like, what do you mean, what if I dared you? And then I had like the aha moment, and I challenged them to a little friendly competition in which we competed to earn points by flirting and dating. So basically we got a point when we exchanged numbers, 2 points when we got a text, 3 for a call, 6 for a date. And in 10 weeks, they went on more dates than they had gone on in the previous 2 years.
Wow.
And that's the guy she married.
Look at you.
I know.
Right. You listen to your friend, Suzanne. Shut up. Good for you.
I know. So I was like, hey, maybe I should do something with this. So I created
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, when I do my fantasy...
She's got a marriage. I think that's amazing. That's like
I've got two.
Oh, gosh. See, she's building a structure. Oh, I'm going to have a heart attack. Okay, go on.
When guys do fantasy football, all we do is get like maybe some money at the end of it. Some dudes are kind of corny and will make like a trophy. You, at the end of this, have some people that won an actual mate, which is crazy to me. Normally we do promos at the end of shows, but I want to just give out your website so people, while they're hearing this, can just look at your scoring breakdown and the rules.
Definitely.
So it's fantasydatinggame.com.
Yep.
Check it out. It's just got amazing stuff. You also have a blog part of it. How did the blog come about?
Well, we want to give players and people, even if you're not fantasy dating, but anyone who's single and wants to date, all the tools that they possibly need. So we have a blog, we have a radio show. I wrote a Dare to Date workbook, which has action plans and exercises and dares. I mean, the whole thing. We want to give you every tool possible. So we just keep creating content.
I mean, I can't express enough how amazing amazing of an idea it is. And I know you said that it was for, like, it originated from your female friends, but this is something that both sexes could play, right? And join in?
Oh, yeah. Yep, we've got men and women playing. It's funny because in the beginning, I thought that women were the only ones whining. We're never going to meet anyone.
No.
You should,
Right?
you should
No,
you should be on
dude.
the
Oh, for sure not.
you should be on the discussions that me and Yell have when I'm bitching about my dates. Ay.
Seriously?
I didn't know until once I got started, and then I started hearing from all these guys, and I started hearing all these stories, and yeah, I mean, you know, guys have the same complaints women do. It's amazing.
But not even just the complaints of there's no good people out there. What I really like about it is that it puts the person to take action. It like forces them to take action. I think, again, as
it's like an exercise in personal growth, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Being more assertive, introducing yourself to people.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I look at people like my boss. He's done this in real estate, and he's a self-made. And my boss is one of those people that are crazy. Like he just speaks and money appears. It's amazing. He's one of the most brilliant people I've ever met.
I need his voice.
But I'm saying,
Yeah, right.
oh, but my point is, he all he does is meet every single day. But in that, she is completely right. Cell phones have almost become, and I feel like, an adult security blanket in a sense.
Yeah.
Of like, I can hide behind my phone. You need to meet people. That like you have to meet other human beings, and like that takes action. That's not, you know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, definitely, you can see that women, specifically in this country, are often taught like the guy is supposed to go approach.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they do a wait and see approach where you just sit there and hopefully this knight in shining armor shows up. And it's not that it's just women. There are plenty of guys that are shy and won't approach. Even within this, it kind of forces, or it makes a fun way to have somebody really be more proactive within their dating.
Yeah, if I could jump in, I mean, the reason why I don't approach is because, it's like, oh, you're too creepy. Like, you just walk up normally and it's like, you're a creep. And that whole term creep, like, it means different things to different women. And it's like, you're a creep because you're wearing flip-flops. You're a creep because,
Oh, God.
you're wearing a certain type of shirt. You're a creep because you're either too confident. You're a creep because you're not confident enough. You're a creep because you got eyebrows. I mean, something like silly like that.
Women are superficial. I feel like I don't know, some of the people that I know that have trouble with approaching people in person, I guess on a dating front, I don't know, I think they've had success online.
Even with that, your game encompasses online as well. You could still score points by online dating apps as well, right, Suzanne?
Oh yeah, I'm getting crushed by two people now who are on Tinder. They're obliterating me. They have over 100 points each, and I have 21 because I've been using OkCupid a little bit, and I cannot even tell you the freak shows who've been hitting me up. But
I'm sorry, Suzanne. I mean, I thought you would enjoy my collection of Teletubby stuffed animals and treasure trolls.
Oh my God, Suzanne, you're gonna die. I found on Tinder the other day, this is hysterical, and this was it's been going on for about a month now. I swiped right to someone who had a profile of a cat, and I thought, listen, I might be alone with a cat anyway the rest of my life. So when my wonderful children leave me to go have a real life, I feel like maybe it could be the one. So I said to him, like, listen, I don't have a thing for cats. However, like, you appear to be well kept, and like perhaps if you're fixed and you're updated on all your shots, like maybe we have something here. I don't know. I think he could be the one.
And the cat said, no, you're too old and Jewy.
No, that was the French doctor who was like, oh boy, you're funny, but you're not cute, you're old. And I was like, oh my God. I realized it's laced with a compliment.
I tell you.
that's awful.
That is.
How horrendous is that? That's like basically saying like you're fat and ugly, but you're funny. That's like essentially how I felt. I was like, oh, cute. I hope you die.
Oh, that's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Next.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
if I could tell my horror story, I said it on this show earlier. Like one of the first shows, it was on OkCupid. A girl clicked like. The hell? So anyway, so yeah, a girl click like on my click like. So I'm thinking, oh wow, she's pretty. She clicked like. She likes the whole conglomeration that is me.
Whatever.
So I message her and she's like, what made you think that I would like you? I just liked the what was behind you in that picture.
What?
So I was like, wow, I guess I'm a dumbass for assuming.
Right.
No,
Assuming that you were the focal point of the picture.
Yeah.
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 No, she's a terrible person, and that was the universe making way for a normal person to come your way.
Yeah, see, and I like that outlook to it, because a lot of people always harp on the rejection when a rejection is really just the universe letting you, it's swiping left for you. That's what the universe is doing.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, and the bottom line is dating takes practice. Flirting takes practice. Fantasy dating gives you the practice. The more you stretch your comfort zone, the more you stretch your comfort zone, the more you smile and say hi and chat up strangers, the less scary it is. And then if someone responds to you in a terrible way, like that awful person with the picture, if someone says something mean to you, well then it's like, all right, well, I don't want to hate you anyway. You suck, and then
right. And I didn't have to invest much of anything to find out that you're a POS. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a great feeling.
Yeah. I mean, a joke that I've been saying on stage is like, it's kind of hard for me to approach chicks, and my friends think I have low self-esteem. I'm just aware of my resting creep face.
God, I doubt you have a resting creep face.
Oh, I do. No, I do. I remember one time a random chick slapped me in the face because she thought I was the dude that raped her because I looked like him.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And then she realized that it wasn't him, and she was like, oh well, that was for the universe. I'm like, damn. All right.
Wow.
Louis, I feel like again, it's you gotta get rid of the creep thoughts, and then that'll help. Like it'll definitely help. But you already think you are
right.
That's what you're presenting.
Yes, Keenan's absolutely right. If the story you're telling yourself is people reject me because they think I'm a creep, then people are going to reject you because they think you're a creep.
Yeah. She is correct.
It really changed the way I walk. I walk like a T-Rex.
Oh my God. Oh, this is awesome. This is the weirdest show I've ever been on. I love it.
Like, I apologize. They're with me.
No, it's all good. Hey, I like weird.
Yael's actually been in public with me, and we'll go to, like, clubs.
Oh, women, you would think that I have brought the true Messiah. I swear to you, I promise you, the way, it's shameless.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Keenan
I
Weaver,
apparently have, like, every time, and I don't even appreciate it. How sick is that? I have the hottest dude in the room, and these bitches are like, what? And I'm like, no, he's not even mine. You can, like, have him. Yeah, you go do it. Go ahead.
Keenan Weaver is the Fresh Prince of Westchester County.
Seriously, yo.
Wow.
It's nuts. She's beautiful.
I do not agree with anything.
Really? I've actually seen it. Like, I actually seen women get moist around Keenan.
This is ridiculous.
Which is why when I'm around, it's like I'm an antiperspirant.
Y'all can't keep upselling me on the podcast, because then when people really meet me, they're gonna think that y'all are liars, because I'm not in this.
We are dishonest people. No, I really, like, I think I'm pretty good with the vibes of women, and, like, there have been a couple, I'm like, no, yeah, that's not, I'm not, no. Like,
I really think, how would somebody go up and start doing, because we're all single as hosts of this show, and I really want to get our listeners behind this, because I think this is something that we really could enjoy, and even report back every once in a while on how we're doing, who's winning, and things of that nature.
Sure.
How does someone, like, start a league? Like, is it a full league? Like I'm giving you all these analogies because I do the fantasy football. How close to it is it a league and stuff like that?
You just go to fantasydatinggame.com. It's free to sign up, and then you guys would just form your own league. You could do the 411 play league, and then invite your listeners to come on and join you.
We should. Oh my God, we should.
Yeah, it's a 10-week season. If you go and you look, you can see my league is the big league, so you could look at the big league and just see what it looks like. You know what I mean? And then you set your own stakes.
It's not the
So
size,
whatever
it's
you
how
guys
use
want to
it.
bet, we have a $25 buy-in, winner takes all. It's just for fun. But other people bet other stuff. They bet spa days, a weekend getaway with your new boyfriend or girlfriend. All kinds of things. I mean, sometimes the stakes are actual steaks, like a steak dinner. I mean, one league had the winner. The stakes were that the winner would be sent flowers at work by every loser on the league.
Damn.
So it was like she got 10 flower drips at work. So I mean, you can make your stakes anything you want.
So are they like male winners, or it's just mostly women winners?
There's a combination. Some leagues are just guys. Some are all women. Some are men and women.
Okay.
So you guys could do whatever you want.
Just to include anyone. Like let's say I have a friend named Caitlin, and his name used to be Bruce. Can he join this league and hopefully find a it to fall in love with?
Anybody can join this league. It doesn't matter who you date or who you're attracted to. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Just as long as you're still going to score your points, no matter who you score them with.
I think I did see on the site that the only rules that you really have is that you are single.
Yes.
And that you are truly attracted to the people that you're receiving, like, I guess, these points from or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you by no means can you go and just, like, hit on random people and give random people your number just to score points, because it's freaking mean. And we're not into being mean, and so that's not okay. You have to be truly attracted to them and truly interested in them. And then, of course, you can't post points that you didn't earn, because, let's face it, the game only works if you work it, by posting a bunch of fake points, you're not going to get any closer to finding love. So it's a bit of an honor code there.
No.
And then you have to be over 18. That's it.
Like, what if none of these people in your league are up to par? Like, in your personal, like let's say, I don't like him because he has a lazy eye. I don't like him because...
You don't have to date the people in your league, right?
Oh, no. The people in your league are the people you're playing against.
Oh.
So basically, all right, here's a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that I was not on a league right now, and the four of us decided we wanted to create a league. We would be competing against each other to earn points by dating. So we would, and you can use any tool you want. So you can use online dating, speed dating, matchmaking. You can obviously just chat people up when you're in line at Starbucks or at the grocery store or wherever, or at bars, however you'd like to meet people. So, but we would be competing against each other. So we'd set the stakes with each other. So basically, we'd be like your fantasy league. Your fantasy football league, we'd be the fantasy dating league. So, well, no, I'm sorry, that's not right. We'd be like the people you're playing against. So the other leagues. Whoever's in your... Oh my God, I'm getting confused. Because you draft players.
No,
the
it's
other
like
people... Go ahead.
We are competing each other. In the real world, we would accumulate points by interacting with people that we are attracted to.
Yep.
It's not like the people in your league are the people you're dating. You're going out to try and date, and then you accumulate points like that.
Oh.
Right, and you're trying to beat me and Louie and Niall.
Right. So the other week, Yael and I, we went out to a few clubs, and the first week she interacted with a guy. Right. I don't know how far it went. I just was
didn't go very far.
Right. But if you exchanged numbers at that point, you would have gotten 1 point.
Yes.
He's an Australian investor, so I was like, I need to give you my card.
So you gave him.
You got a point. Exactly. I did.
Oh yes, I did.
Yep. So that would have been a point.
Woohoo!
Yep.
And that was something that I actually witnessed. And you were saying that the honor code is for something that, like, if we all didn't witness it, you'd have to say, yeah, I met this guy on my way to work, and we exchanged numbers, and he actually sent me a text. So you get 1 point for the number exchange, and then 2 points for the text.
Right. You got it.
So basically, the honor code. So there's no real way to like.
So you can't be in the league. That's pretty much what that means.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, let's face it. If I say somebody called, I can show you my call log. If you really think I'm lying, I can show you my call log. I can show you my text. I can show you, emails or whatever.
Does it count?
That's why, Suzanne, I think I got it. I think I got it, and that's why I was able to slide right in with the answer.
Thank you very much. That was good. Mm-hmm. But seriously, it would be fun if you invited like all your listeners to play, and then you could all compete against each other and have the 411 play league. Why not? And then, like you said, check in every week.
Yeah, I really think that
Who
was just.
scored?
I think that would be a great segment just to kind of track, even though my dating season is ending.
What does that mean?
Well, so what I have
Are
is
you hibernating for the winter?
what I have is called girlfriend season, and for me, I've explained this before.
Yeah.
For me, it's the time when the NBA Finals finishes and football season starts is where I make dating my own a very strong priority. But now that football is on,
that's it.
Which means now that Keenan is out of the taking himself out of the pool, it's almost Louis B dating season. Louis B will have a shot.
I'm single-handedly stopping all the women from dating you, right?
Yeah, you are.
I really am a good matchmaker. It's like, wow. And I can't land a man to save my life. I feel like I would get a rhinoceros before I would get a boyfriend.
A rhinoceros.
A dehorned rhinoceros, one that has been freshly
I would be buying a dinosaur before I'm going to get a diamond. That's really what I think.
Actually, if you were dating...
You don't really think that, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no. Okay, I really want to know what Suzette thinks of this. Very long story short, someone I did business with for a while who's a lot younger than me. But here's the problem. I mean, a lot. An inappropriate, it's not okay. 8 years younger than me. Doesn't matter how smart he is. I feel like a 23-year-old man who has the hots for a 30, I'm going to be 31 in 10 days. A 31-year-old woman. I feel like there's just I don't think when he's 30, he's going to want to be banging his 38-year-old wife. Does that make sense? Am I crazy for thinking that?
No, not at all. I mean, yes. I mean, I think you are. Wait a minute, hold on. I said the wrong thing. I do think you're actually crazy. I think that you're actually, I think that it's silly. I think age is a silly thing to
I have kids. It's
yeah, but how do you know? I mean, my friends Michael and Tina. Tina's 15 years older than Michael, or something like that, and they've been married for 20 years now, and they have kids, and they're totally happy. I mean, I've got a guy in my realm who's way younger than me, way younger than that, and I don't mind. It's fun.
I think the biggest thing is everybody goes in, they write people off because of what you think, and you should never go into any new type of opportunity that way.
Yeah, I gave it a shot. No, I gave it a shot, and then I realized I was dealing with a highly intelligent, self-made, very impressive, a brilliant businessman who was still 23. He just still was he was still 23. Just very, you know what I mean? And the money, oh my God. He was I can't even believe you. He's I'm how much easier I can make your life overnight. I love you. I love your kids. We've done business together I know that you're it for me. So why not? I was you're 23. And also the whole romanticizing immediate love. I was just dude, I don't feel I feel you have the super duper hots for me and you think I'm smart and you're kind of on, you know what I mean? I don't.
That's the problem. You keep saying what you think rather than listening to what the guy told you, what his actions are. That's what's most important. Because we all do crazy things in our own head.
I agree with Keenan on this one. I mean, I think that you never know what the guy's thinking, and first of all, I'd like to say it's good that you didn't just cancel him out. You didn't just say no in the first place.
I totally did. I gave it
a try.
I tried for a couple of weeks.
But wait, within a couple of weeks, he said he loved you.
No, we were working together on a regular basis,
right?
Pretty much almost every day. So there was a lot of time together, a lot of one-on-one time, in your person because you're working. You're not on a date. You're not trying to impress this person. You know what I mean? We're trying to get a property sold today. Not I don't even want to talk about fucking you right now. You know what I mean? I want to get this property paid for. So I don't think his his feelings are, I don't feel someone 23 can make such a bold statement about such a life decision off of, I don't know. It was just very it was too romantic for me, I don't know if that makes any sense. It was in I wouldn't have, straight out, I wouldn't have to work if I didn't want to. But I was I would would rather.
I like that. That's your thought process, though. It has nothing to do with the love you two could have.
Well, it doesn't. Listen, it does factor in.
My heart didn't feel it, but seriously, it's like my heart didn't feel it. He's sexy. If this guy were 30, I would keep that baby. Are you kidding me? I'd be like, I love you. Like that. I swear to God, if he were 30, it would be different. But like, I
just because of 7 years. Just because of 7 years. Because
it was a maturity thing on an emotional level. You know what I mean?
So you're saying if he was not just 30.
But what was his actual maturity? Like, I would like to hear stories of him being immature, not just because he's 23.
Okay.
Because I've always been mature for my age. Like, that's just for like my life. When I was in middle school, my friends were always in high school. It would always be like that because I've always been mature. So at 23, I was a little more mature than most 23.
Okay. So
it's a good question, Keenan. I think
what started all of this was like one night we were talking and we were actually like joking about he's like, so you're an actual like legit, like you're a stand-up comedian. I said, yeah. He's like, wow. So like I was like, do you want me? So he's like, tell me a joke. So I told him a couple jokes. He's like, oh, you're so funny. And then like lunges at me and I kind of like let this happen. I'm like, this could be hot. And it was like, what in the shit are you doing? It's like, you are trying to buy property on behalf of a client for this. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I was like, I can't do this kind of stuff. Like, I can't have sex in an office right now. Like,
so you were asking yourself, what are you doing? Are you asking him?
Yeah. And then I kind of like that
process, and it goes this way. I think it's twofold. Men talk themselves out. You just always talk yourself out of the game before the approach, and then women talk themselves out of certain things after. It's always what if, wondering this, instead of just being in the moment and seeing how things flow.
Yep. Yeah, but you know what? I didn't need to. Okay. Like, all right. This is a beautiful example of something he did. He was supposed to come over one night. All right. He told me he was on his way. Now I want to bear in mind this bitch is filthy rich. There's nothing he can. I mean, like Uber to take him home, not a problem. Like solutions all in front of him. So I obviously think, all right, like you're gonna come over. We're gonna like make out. I'm thinking we're gonna have some time together alone, like in my house. He brings two of his friends, and one of his friends. I was in the shower. I thought, you have to realize, I think they're dropping him off. You know what I mean? His friend walked in my bathroom in the shower, and I was like, no, this is it. It's that college stupid boy mentality of like, now, you know what I mean?
I get it. That's what you should lead with.
Over to your girl's house. Are you not?
Yeah, that's exactly the story that you should lead with.
Yes.
And then we'd say, okay, that's very immature. I see this all the time. I'm actually going to ask you about dating in LA. If you have more time with me, I know we're closing in.
I got time. Okay. I'm on the couch.
So in New York now, we see a lot of these group dates as first dates, which is
such a bad idea.
It's crazy to me, and it's just, I think it's a younger generation that's starting it, but I see it spreading where you meet somebody online, and I get a safetyness behind it that it's a little less pressure to be with a group of friends than to be one-on-one when you're meeting somebody offline for the first time. But it also takes away from just the building an interaction, like focusing on this other person.
Yeah. There are a couple sites that actually put those dinners together for you too, if you want to. So they'll actually take 8 men and 8 women, and then they'll send them out together for a dinner. And so it's definitely a thing, and it's growing. What do I think of it?
Yeah,
I think unless you're really outgoing and super fun, it's a bad idea because you're going to pale in comparison to that person who has, there's always that person who walks in the room and it's like, bam, she's here, or he's there. And it's always going to be hard to compete with that person if you're not that person.
Right.
So I don't think it's the greatest idea. It's definitely not something that, I would try. But, again, for me, I'm always suggesting do whatever. I don't care what you do. I don't care, which app you want to use or who you want want to consult or whatever, if it's something you think you want to try it, because then at least you know whether or not it works for you, and at least you did something, you dared to try something, and stretch your comfort zone. Because again, it's all about just getting. It's all about
like if you would be there, if a dude, if there was a dude that you liked and you could see he was chatty with the girl next to you, you're going to be timid and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to let Tiffany talk to, Josh. Because, like, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
I think it's almost like to a disadvantage. I could, like, you know what, like, I could see someone calling, like, I could imagine someone, like, crying on their way home. Like, I put myself out there, I'm doing the best I can.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Tiffany came. Yeah, right?
Yep, I agree. Yeah, it wouldn't be something that I would necessarily do, but...
So, I know, I don't think the people know that you're from New Jersey, but you're out in LA now.
Yes.
Have you dated when you were on this coast?
Well, I mean, I grew up in New Jersey. I went to school in Boston, and then I came out here. So just through college.
Okay. So how is the dating scene out in LA? And then maybe if you can touch on it towards the end, what differences do you see between the two coasts?
Well, it's very interesting, actually, that you asked this question. We actually had a matchmaker on our show like a couple weeks ago who works for 3 Day Rule, which is sort of like in many cities all over the country. I'm actually going to meet with her tomorrow. Because
cool.
Why not, right?
That's
and
awesome.
It's another dating tool. But we had this really interesting conversation about how different cities have different hot buttons, if you will. People are generally looking for different things in different cities. And she was saying that in New York, people are really interested in prestige. What college did you go to? What kinds of education do you have? Where do you work? Obviously money, those kinds of things. Looking for status. Whereas in LA, it's very much really, it's very superficial. It's very much what you look like, how much do you work out, that kind of thing. There's a whole lot of who do you know, because everything revolves around the entertainment industry. And then it comes down to, your car and your money. But she was saying that, in different cities, like in Washington, D.C., there are huge cultural things to consider. Like, you would never, ever, ever set up a Republican with a Democrat because people are that serious about
it there. Okay.
Yeah, I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
I actually agree with that. I guess if you want on paper, I have no education, but I'm a buyer for a developer. I mean, I have one of the highest paying and hardest jobs on earth. Really. I'm serious, but that's what you have. If you want, I know this is going to sound shitty and superficial and I'll sound jappy and whatever. If you want stability, quality, and all of those things, this matchmaker you're meeting with, she's totally right. I don't know what's going on in LA, but that's definitely true. If you don't have pedigree and education and all of that, you have to be self-made big. You know what I mean? Self-made big. Yeah. I'm a stand-up comedian and a matchmaker and I buy properties. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I actually agree with that assessment. And especially one of my favorite cities for dating is actually DC. I think it's one of the best because for me, I'm just like a very ambitious type go-getter, and DC is a hotbed for those types. The only problem is most of those people don't stay in DC. It's one of those type of areas where people come in for a few years and then they leave, unless they're trying to be like really into politics, which again is a long haul.
Huh.
So weird thing.
Just interesting. I mean, another weird thing about LA is that it's totally, completely normal to be, well into your 40s or your 50s and never been married.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were in the Midwest and you were 40 years old, people would be like, what's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's totally normal out here because, people generally come out here to do something, to whatever it is, create a show or act or blah, 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 and people get so caught up in their careers that relationships are secondary. So it's interesting.
Like, I'm not, and I actually, that kind of kills me as far as my dating life is concerned, because, when you tell a chick, I never want to have children, it's like they act as if, oh shit, there goes my lotto ticket or something.
It's tough.
I don't think that. I mean, listen. I mean, Louis. I'm gonna be straight up with you, and I work very hard. I have, like I said, if you want to run with that crowd and you want to be a part of that people, and you send the kids through. You be a business. Bottom line, you have to be a self-made person. Like, thank God. Like, before you joined us, Keenan, Suzette, and I were talking a little bit about dating, and the struggle I have is it filters out a lot, and thank God I date pretty quality dudes, and like I would not, going on a date with you, think that this is where my big money is. Like, I just don't think that women are going after you to dig for gold. Why would you?
But
think
it's not
that?
even that.
Like,
I think he said something about the not wanting. So, do you not want to have kids? Period, Louis.
Period.
So that's which is, if you're open and honest with that up front, there are women out here that do want to have kids. So why waste time with someone who doesn't match up with that type of dream and aspiration?
Yeah.
Well, I think what he's talking about is the pressure he's getting from his family. Am I wrong?
Well,
is that what you were talking about?
Well, no. Just my dad. My mom could care less. I mean, because,
anybody who does that to me, like, I get it when I turn 30, and I just ask them, okay, I'll have kids. It costs $236,000 to raise a kid in America. So once you hand me that check, I'll go out. I'm fine. I will do it for. I will give you your grandkid if you want it. Just, you got to pay for it.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's like
all over the land.
It's like I hate to use this term, but a lot of women out here are baby crazy. It's like
but you have to find one that isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot who aren't. I mean, I've never wanted to have kids, and I have a few kids. I mean, a few friends who also have never wanted to have kids, and so we don't have kids.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's just
a
person being real with themselves.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's all about being honest with yourself, being honest with your intentions, and there are many women out there that are honest that they do not want to have kids, and that would be the person that you would want to spend if you're looking for marriage.
Yeah.
But to have somebody who wants kids, either way, the compromise doesn't mean it's a compromise. It means somebody is going to resent the other. Either you have kids and you hate it, or the person doesn't have kids and they're always wondering, what if?
Oh yeah, no, that's a deal breaker. You have to find someone who absolutely doesn't want to have kids. You can't, otherwise you're gonna be miserable for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But they're not that hard to find. And you may also be running into. You said you're Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So you may be also running into little cultural things there too. I mean, I just generally. I mean, my family's part Dominican. I mean, it's the whole. There's a whole big family thing going on there. I mean, it's sort of expected to have big families. So maybe you don't date a Puerto Rican girl.
Crazy.
Maybe you date,
When you go into dating with these foreseen expectations, the
Yeah.
only thing that you need to be doing is making sure that someone matches your standards. That's about what you go in with your first date. Is this guy, this girl meet my standards?
Yeah.
But to expect the world, to expect kids, to expect that, sometimes that changes. You might not want kids at 30, but at 35, you feel, okay, actually now I do want kids. I think for men, it's way different because we don't have that biological clock. I feel like wanting it doesn't really come until it's there.
There's something to that. Yeah, but I think the whole idea really is to just kind of live in the moment and enjoy. Like this entire summer, I've been looking at this entire summer like I'm going to treat this summer like I am living on a full-time vacation because don't get me wrong, I'm working constantly, but I mean I'm just going out all the time and I'm having so much fun and just kind of going minute by minute and hour by hour and I'm giving everybody my numbers and I'm flirting with guys and just having fun with it. Like who cares? Who cares if he doesn't call? Who cares if he doesn't, if I don't see him again? Who cares if the date sucked? So what? I'm going to go out afterwards. I mean, so I was
deliberately asked out in AutoZone and the guy asked me for my card and he's like, would you want to go have a drink sometime? And I was like, oh my God, he does what I do, only he's done it for a very long time. And he's so hot. Never called me, God bless him. Never called me. Nope. But it was kind of in that
it's a nice compliment.
it was cute, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Made you feel good, right? You walked away going,
definitely did. Right.
Yep.
Oh, he was hot. Him, I don't know. Maybe I would have fucked him on the first date. Maybe. We'll never know now. But we'll never know.
You got a 32%er.
Yep.
Never know. It's a mystery. What can I say? I probably would have. Maybe. The chances were good. Shucks.
Yeah.
No, but in that second, it was cute. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I don't care. But I thought it was...
The key is you didn't get too attached to the outcome.
Oh.
I think get so attached to the outcome. Like so you just, the whole idea is to just try not to have any expectations. Just roll with it, enjoy it minute by minute, and then keep going. My friends keep saying, keep it moving, just keep it moving, and they're using the hashtag like a shark. Keep it moving. So everything's like a shark this summer. I don't know. That's my advice.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. If you don't have these expectations, if you set up the moment, just live in the moment and figure out how things, because that's really the beauty of life, is just that unexpected.
Yes.
You just be open, be receptive to the unexpected, and move forward. Like you said, keep going. Just have fun.
Yep. It's like the guy outside the AutoZone. That was a perfect example.
Right. Yeah, who cares? You know what? Maybe he lost my business card. Who knows? You know what? I look at it like this. If it's meant to be, I'll run into him again.
Yeah.
I will. That's it. Yep. It will happen. I'll run into him again.
Definitely. And meanwhile, it made you feel totally sexy and awesome.
There's so many reasons that things like that happen. Like you said, maybe he lost his car. Like when a female doesn't get back to me, maybe something was late at work, stressful. Like you have no idea. Everybody is going on their own life as well. Yes, you met them, but they got their own stuff that they're going through, and you don't know.
You never know.
So you just hit them back up, or to an extent. Like some people you can tell, but to an extent, sometimes it's just things happen.
Yep. So
Why would you beat yourself up agonizing over the what if or the disappointment of something that you expected didn't happen?
Right.
Because it's fun.
So to bring it back to you, Suzanne, you also have a couple of things as we try to wrap this up that came out of the fantasy dating game, right? Yep. And there was one, you have a radio, and you also said you started a book. Did these come after the dating game, or?
Yes, they came after the dating game, and so I realized that. So I'm a writer, and so way before any of this, and I've written and I've made a living writing corporate training materials, lots of corporate training materials. So I was like, hey, I could use a training material background to write a dating workbook to help people get off their butts and actually, actually dare to date.
So happy.
Dare to date, and it's at daretodatebook.com. It's also on the fantasydatinggame.com website. And then we do fantasy dating radio every Wednesday night, and that's on iTunes and we're at Blog Talk Radio and also on fantasydatinggame.com. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. I really feel like I said at the top, this is something that they really should try. I just like how it's inclusive of your friends. You can make a competition out of it.
It pushes you to do something, and I think that's so important. Like, oh God, the lack of people actually meeting in human life is really getting bad.
It is getting bad. Yeah,
you're so much more successful when you physically know people.
People will come up with any excuse not to date. Work is too busy right now, or I don't have enough money, or I need to lose 10 pounds first, or I mean, you've heard them all. Right. And so when you play this game, you really run out of excuses because your ego's at stake. You're going to get your butt kicked, and so you have to actually act and do something. You have to actually flirt, and it takes the fear out of it because you're not really thinking, oh my God, what if this guy rejects me? When you hand him your card, you're just thinking, yes, I'm going to get a point. So it's it really takes the fear out of the whole situation, and that's all I want to do.
It really does. It makes it fun. It does.
And I'm so competitive that I don't know. I feel like I would mess up the prize because it's supposed to. The goal is to get out of and move out of single, but I would just want to come back every year and back-to-back championships. I would just.
Oh, we definitely are. I mean, our season's going to be up in 2 weeks, and we'll start over again and just keep going because I mean, I'm with bloodhounds. I mean, lunatics, and I'm not a very competitive person. I know that sounds crazy, but I really just created this game because my girlfriends were driving me nuts. I've never had a problem meeting guys, so it's not a thing. For me, I've always been outgoing, and I'll chat with anyone anywhere I go. But the people I'm competing with are crazy. I mean, they're just it's incredible. So they're ready. They're like, oh no, we're going again. I'm like, okay, all right, we'll go again.
That is amazing. Well, I again want to thank you very much for taking the time to be here. I love the idea, and I know the people listening to this episode really will get on board. We'll definitely have to look at trying to start our own league and joining the community as well. Is there anything that you have upcoming that you just want to promote now?
You know, not really. We're just doing what we're doing. We're just doing the radio show every Wednesday and selling books and doing our thing. So,
all right. Well, there you have it, Queen. What you got for me?
Oh, so I have a private party on Saturday afternoon
thanks for telling the Caribbean. Public that.
No, I think it's interesting. It's a Caribbean family reunion. They specifically wanted like the short redheaded Jew. I'm serious. How funny are these people? I'm so excited. And then after that, I have a show at Broadway Comedy Club on the 10th September.
Okay. What's going on, Creep?
Jesus, I almost didn't answer to that. I needed that last shred of self-esteem, Keenan, but thank you for taking it away from me.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Like the tax man. Every Wednesday, listen to my personal podcast, The Crotch Shots Radio Show. It's on iTunes, it's on Stitcher, it's on TuneIn, and it's recently just got added to iHeartRadio. So if you got the iHeartRadio or TuneIn apps or the Stitcher apps, search for The Crotch Shot Radio Show and listen to me. I actually did an episode this morning entitled "Can I Live?" Also, you can follow me on the Twitter at LouisB1, or you can follow me on Facebook at Louis B Comedy. So take it away, Keenan.
All right. Well, everybody knows I'm all over the place this August, so just check the website www.KeenanWeaver.com. It's KENANWEAVER. And for us, we're up and running, so we want to make sure there's been a couple of conversations starting. If you're on Twitter, use hashtag #4loveandplay spelled out. Our Twitter is at @4loveandplay. So start bringing the questions, and you can see us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thanks, guys. Keep loving, keep playing.
Have a great